Hey, Daddy, this is the man of the champions, Bill Fonzie Alfonso, giving a shout out to
Something Else.
Something Else, Daddy.
This is Nicole Matano, Great Warrior Wolf, and you are listening to Something Else.
I'm Tony Gini, and you're listening to Something Else.
Hey everybody, it's Rich Palladino, the voice of New England, and you are listening to Something Else with Arya.
And welcome to episode number 241 of Something Else. Feast your hair holes on this week's episode as we take a look at Mid-South Wrestling and World Class Championship Wrestling from October 27th, 1984. My name is Arya, and joining me as always is the Sergeant Peanut Butter to my General Skandor Akbar. It's Trae. Trae, my mother may or may not be in labor right now, getting ready to give birth to me.
Now, Sergeant Peanut Butter, is that an ancestor of Mr. Peanut Butter?
It's a horse that won a Medal of Valor on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and dragged Charles Boyle away.
Ah.
Yes. Further proof that you need to watch that show. So we have finally reached the episode that aired 2 days before the day I was born.
You almost exist.
Yes, I do. I always like to joke that because I was born in New York, that my mother went to see Hulk Hogan win the WWF title for the first time and went home, and her and my father had me. Because I was born 9 years and 1 month, or 9 years, wow. 9 months and 1 week later.
Did your father also see Hulk Hogan defeat the Iron Sheik, or was he waiting at home?
I assume he was just waiting at home.
Well,
You know, it makes total sense.
what would
Somehow.
have happened? What would have happened if Sheiky had broken Hogan's leg?
I probably never would have existed. If Sheiky broke that Hollywood blonde jabroni's leg and took the belt to Minnesota, I might not be here to talk about this particular episode of Mid-South Wrestling.
Yeah. What would I do? I can't imagine what my life would be like. Would I even be talking about this episode of Mid-South Wrestling?
My guess is probably not. Although who knows, a world without me in it, possibly, you joined the Brian and Vinny show, and the show they do now is the Big Vinny V and Trey show, where you guys talk about Mid-South Wrestling.
Oh, that would have been tremendous.
Yes, I bet it would have been. I prevented you from getting paid to watch and talk about pro wrestling.
I bet I have an Observer Hall of Fame ballot in that timeline. Damn you.
You still wouldn't, no.
Oh, fuck you.
Dave still would not respect your contributions.
Nobody respects my contributions.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrows. So it's a big week for people getting job interviews. I've got a big interview coming up Thursday to get a big promotion at work. And a friend of mine has her final interview with Yahoo.
Yahoo?
And, yes, Yahoo.
I didn't know Yahoo was still hiring people.
Apparently they are. I did tell her, though, that if they don't hire her, I will go and treat them like CM Punk treated Jack Perry. I will have to go and choke them just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yes. She was unhappy that I said that because she's not a CM Punk fan. So I said, well, that's better than if I said that they were going to be the Kenny Omega to my Ace Steel and I bit a chunk out of their arm. And we joked that nobody wants to be Ace Steel, not even Ace Steel.
He sure doesn't.
However, I will say Ace Steel, he's in a no-win situation. When your best friend has the means to buy himself anything he could ever possibly want, how do you buy him a birthday present or a Christmas present? Ace Steel went out and got him something unique. He went out and got him a chunk of Kenny Omega's arm.
See, I thought that you were just going to say when your best friend is CM Punk and just leave it at that.
See, I like CM Punk. And it's not just me kissing up to the new world champion either.
Here's the thing. I'm a fan in general. I'm a fan, but also he seems like he'd be an unpleasant person to know.
I'm a fan, and I can accept the fact that he has done some dumb things in his life. But anywho, it's not a dumb idea. It's watching this week's episode of Mid-South Wrestling. Let's go to the intro with Boyd Pierce, who's decked out in all orange for this pre-Halloween edition of Mid-South Wrestling, and the president of Mid-South Sports, Bill Watts, not to be confused with Charlie Lay, who every so often will still get brought up.
Hello, wrestling fans. Once again, we welcome you to the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. And this week, really excitement as we see the football helmet match between Dr. Death Steve Williams and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Also, Brickhouse Brown takes on Hacksaw Butch Reed. Johnny Mantell versus the returning Ted DiBiase. And listen to this, the North American Heavyweight title on the line as Magnum TA defends his coveted belt against the challenge of the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd. To tell you about it, the president of Mid-South Sports, our guest commentator, Bill Watts. Bill?
Well, thank you, Boyd. Another exciting night. And, it's excitement in the air. Another packed house here at the Irish McNeil Boys Club. The Louisiana State Fair going on. I remember a couple of years ago, there was some excitement as Hacksaw Duggan came out of a gorilla suit 2 years ago.
Right.
So it seems like something always in the air. I do want to make one announcement. Terry Taylor will not be with us for about a month. Something has happened to his spleen, whether it's from an injury, they just don't know. It's really a distressful time for Terry. I know everybody's hearts will go out to him at this time. We've got a lot of mail about our declaration about Jim Cornette's tennis racket, 2x4s, chains, and steel chairs. And I understand your feelings, and certainly I want you to understand ours. We tried to bar the things, except for Cornette's tennis racket, that we felt could cause a fatality. There's no way that we can regulate out everything that's going to happen in that ring. And every guy that gets in that ring certainly knows the score. And, I wrestled for a lot of years, and a lot of guys did some horrible things to me, and I just found out it's better to fight fire with fire. So I think some of these guys have to come up with some innovative ideas to combat what happens to them. And then they do sign and agree to a lot of matches that have no rules, that we have no control of anyway. So I know that your ire is sometime against us, but we can't regulate out everything. Even the laws in this country won't allow us to stop crime, so how could Mid-South stop what goes on here? We just present it to you the best way we can, and Grizzly Smith does the greatest job he can to present the best matches possible. Now, we have a match we've all been waiting for. Dr. Death has been with Mr. Helmet, and it's self-proclaimed award, but he's got Hacksaw Duggan pretty hot. Well, Dr. Death had his Oklahoma University helmet on, and he had some words to say that he recorded earlier today. Let's listen to this.
Some people say I forgot my helmet the other day. Well, I didn't. I was getting a little buff job, a shine job. Hacksaw, I've got it today in the ring. You know what? You want to get down? You want to get down dirty and nasty in the gridiron in the pit? Well, let me tell you something, Hacksaw Duggan. I buried people. I got down on my 4-point stance, and I used to dig and dig and dig, and I dug the people holes, and I'd cover them with the turf. And that's the way in the ring, too. I'm going to bury you so deep deep. They're going to need a shovel to dig you out.
Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan has never backed down from any challenge. You know, in 4 years, he started every game for the SMU Mustangs. He set a record for consecutive starts. He played in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons 2 years, 1 year in the Canadian Football League, and he's double rugged, and he's ready. He wants this confrontation. It's going to be like a goal line stand. Let's listen to what Jim Duggan said earlier today.
Red 42! Red 42! Shut! Hunt! Hunt! That's right, when old Hacksaw Duggan gets this cage back in front of his face, kind of flashes back to the goal line stance, back down in the pit, where the action is quick and violent, and the officials can't always see what's going on. That's where I used to make my living. Not in the USFL, but in the NFL, Doc. I got you one-on-one today, baby. No advantage. I brought my helmet, dug it up out of my duffel. Hunt, 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 hunt.
Okay. A lot to unpack with the intro. We have a lot of big matches on this week's show, a lot of name matches, including our football helmet match with the Dr. Death helmet holder, Dr. Death Steve Williams, versus the Hacksaw Jim Duggan helmet holder, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And one man today is going to walk out with 2 helmets. And, you know, that should be a hoss battle, if I do say so myself. Plus, we're going to have Magnum TA versus Ernie Ladd for the TV, or I'm sorry, not for the TV title, for the North American Heavyweight Championship. And then, of course, we get told that Terry Taylor, who is a little bitch, a stooge, and a degens, and something else that I forgot because I couldn't remember to write down, is out with a spleen injury. We've said Terry Taylor has no guts. So now he also doesn't have a spleen, possibly.
You see, you're being so rude to Terry Taylor, and he's at home nursing a broken spleen or something.
Whatever happens to your spleen, it has happened to Terry Taylor. What exactly can be done to your spleen, Trey?
I was so excited when I heard the word spleen. Oh my God! If you were gonna make drops of this show, that would be perfect, wouldn't it?
What, Terry Taylor's spleen?
No, just me saying I was so excited when I heard the word spleen, because it reminded me of one of a promo from Nitro in 2000, Nitro or Thunder in 2000, that 13-year-old me thought was so fucking funny. It was I think it was the night after the Halloween Havoc with Mike Awesome and Vampiro, and Vampiro got injured taking fucking power bombs off the top rope and shit. And so the Insane Clown Posse came out and were cutting this promo, and one of them said, Mike Awesome, thanks to you, our friend Vampiro was at home nursing a broken spleen or something. And then I think that was when Mike Awesome power bombed Shaggy Two Dope on top of that 70s bus.
And he slid off the side of it.
Yes.
That is tremendous. I do not have any memory of ICP saying that, but it certainly sounds believable. Although, does it top Bret Hart accusing Dean Malenko of not having a groin?
I didn't remember that part of it.
Yes. So we go to promos from our 2 big former football players, and Doc was here saying that some people say he forgot his helmet, but he didn't. Trey, do you remember who told us that Dr. Death Steve Williams forgot his helmet last week?
I believe that was a Mr. Stephen Williams who said that.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry, Dr. Stephen Williams.
Yes, he went to 3 years of evil medical school.
He went to death school, right?
I'm sorry, he went to what school?
He went to death school. That's how you get a doctorate in death. Do you think the Grim Reaper has a doctorate in death?
I think so, but he doesn't brag about it. Anyway, Doc threatened to dig Duggan so deep that Mid-South will need a shovel to dig him out. This was not the great. This wasn't the greatest promo ever done by anybody, but he sure had intensity. You know, much like Rhino, we don't know about the integrity or the intelligence, but he certainly got the intensity down.
Rhino was very, very intense. That is true.
Don't you remember that promo with Kurt
I
Angle,
do.
Edge, and Christian? Yeah,
I do absolutely remember that.
Yep. And then Jim Duggan brags about playing for SMU. He brags about being the NFL as opposed to the USFL. And I noted that he played for SMU around the time when they were flagrantly violating NCAA rules and were about to get the death penalty. So
that seems excessive for cheating at football.
Yes, and it's not even really too bad of a death penalty because SMU is still playing to this day.
Like, are they just going to kill the whole team?
Apparently, yeah.
Maybe that's how he became Dr. Death.
He's the one that ratted them out to the NCAA?
Wait, Jim Duggan went to SMU.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, Williams may have ratted him out or ratted them out.
But would he do
Anyway.
such a thing? Yeah, probably. He's kind of a jerk.
Indeed. General Skandor Akbar has a very important announcement. Let's go to Jim Ross with the General and Buddy Landell for a very vague promo.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our first match, General Skandor Akbar has requested this time to make what you say, sir, is a very important announcement.
Everybody knows the General's plans to reinvade the Mid-South area. Everybody knows that Ted DiBiase is the #1 cannon in the Army. And he will be here. Right now he's a little late, but he will be here. And as usual, the General is looking for the greatest of all weapons for the Army. And I've been doing a lot of observing and scouting in the Mid-South. And I've found that one of the most underrated wrestlers, but certainly one of the most productive, is young Buddy Landell himself, the Nature Boy. Let it be officially known from here on in that Buddy Landell is officially in the General's Army. Now, I have paid this young man the most money that he has ever seen in his lifetime in return for something that he has promised yours truly. Am I correct in my assumption?
I want to thank you very much, General Skandor Akbar, a household name in professional wrestling. I told you that I would produce what that you paid me for because you're a man that don't go out of his way to pay somebody a large sum of money like you paid me for nothing. I promised you that it was in my power to do what you need to be done. And the Nature Boy, let me tell you something, brother. If I tell you that a monkey can pull a boxcar, hook it up.
I've made you an advancement, a great deal of money. You are sure of your commitment. There you have it. The General's Army is showing up. We're ready for the Mid-South.
That's right. If I say it can happen, it'll happen, brother.
General Skandor Akbar with a business arrangement with Nature Boy Buddy Landell, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta tell you, I don't know how much money Akbar has, but I want that much money. He is incredibly wasteful with money on this show. You know, we've seen that he will pay the largest sum of money ever for a wrestler to bring them in for 2 weeks. Now he's paying Buddy Landell a large sum of money for some thing.
Maybe Buddy just thinks it's large.
I mean, it's the largest amount of money Buddy's ever gotten, which I guess, may not be large to Akbar, but I mean, it's a large sum of cash.
It may just be the largest pile of cocaine that Buddy has ever seen.
That's it. Yeah, Buddy now can afford that 8-ball that he loses his Mid-Atlantic job over. So Ted DiBiase is running late, which I mean, it's understandable. It's been a long time since he's come to the Irish Real Boys Club. He may forget how to get there, and GPS is certainly not a thing in 1984. But Budrow is definitely going to get Akbar something. Now, Trae, to throw us off a little bit here, did you wish a happy birthday to the Dirty White Girl today?
I didn't know that it was her birthday. Happy birthday, Kim.
Yep, she turns 57 today.
Oh.
Meanwhile, for those who listen to me drooling every other Thursday on the site formerly known as angrymarks.com, Dawn Marie turns 55 today.
Oh.
Yep. And then, I mean, I guess this makes sense, but her 2004 SmackDown rival, Jackie Gayda's birthday is today, and she's only 44. And Ariane from formerly known as the woman whose favorite match of all time was Melina versus Alicia Fox, turned 38 today. So it's a good day to be a somewhat attractive woman in pro wrestling.
How about that?
Yes. Yep. So happy birthday to the Dirty White Girl, Dawn Marie, Jackie Gayda, and Cameron of the Funkadactyls.
Funk is on a roll.
Now, are you singing the Brodus Clay version of that song or the Ernest the Cat Miller version of that song?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I still say, well, one of the best moments in Rumble history is Chris Benoit eliminating Lamont's wig. Yeah. No comment?
I was trying to work through that in my head for a minute, and yeah, no.
While Trae tries to work through that for a minute, Max with General Skandor Akbar took on Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion Mike Jackson. JR dead named Max, but Boyd was on his toes. He called him Max like a good young man would. But of course, Boyd was paying as much attention to this match as I paid attention to the world class matches this week. Because Max does his diving headbutt to win the match, and Bill's like, "Did you see that?" And Boyd's response was, "I don't know."
Oh.
Boyd is busy ringing the bell.
Did he really call him Max? I didn't catch that.
He did. He called him Max at the beginning.
That's outstanding. Good for you, Bill.
Yeah. No, Boyd.
Boyd, yeah, I'm sorry. I knew who I was thinking of. I just called them the wrong name.
Yes. Max won with the diving headbutt against Mike Jackson. And the good news is Max does not fall within the Alabama junior heavyweight title weight limit. So Mike Jackson retains the championship.
Mike Jackson did his best. I mean that in the kayfabe sense and the other sense.
Yes. So up next, we were scheduled to have the Dr. Death helmet holder, Steve Williams, versus the Jim Duggan helmet holder, Jim Duggan, in a football helmet match. Now, Dr. Death is in the ring, and he is patiently waiting for his opponent, but his opponent is not who enters the ring. Let's go to JR with the microphone and a special guest.
There's not going to be any football helmet match tonight. I saved you the trouble, Dr. Death. As you can see, this is an SMU football helmet, and Jim Duggan is nowhere around. Now, all you people know that Ted DiBiase's scheduled return is right here tonight, and tonight it's going to be. I'm here to face Johnny Mantel, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, my return, Mr. Ross, was almost over before it got started, because the man who all you people love, the man is supposed to be the great barroom brawler, the great back alley fighter, Jim Duggan, jumped me from behind, tried to jump me from behind,
tried to hit me in the head with this football helmet and end my return before it got started. Now, being the athlete that I am, I ducked out of the way of this football helmet, Ross, and I put one fist right on that glass jaw of that no-good, drunken hippie, and I left him right where he belongs, out there in the gutter. That's right, Duggan's out there in the gutter, and I'm going to tell you, Mid-South, I am back to regain the North American heavyweight title and take right back up where I left off.
All right, so if I can follow the story here, you're saying that Hacksaw Jim Duggan tried to jump you outside the building.
That's right.
And you avoided his attack, and you knocked him out. You had a fight with Duggan and knocked him out with one punch.
That's right.
You had a fight,
right.
and you had a fight with Jim Duggan, and you're not wrinkled, your clothes aren't dirty or anything. You had a fight outside with Jim Duggan, you stayed clean?
Look, Ross, I'm a former North American heavyweight champion. I'm the man. Everybody knows that Jim Duggan, he got where he got because of me. He's overrated. He's nothing but a drunken bum, and that's right. I knocked him out right on that glass jaw with one punch.
All right, so where is he now, then?
He's right where I told you he is. He's out there in the gutter. And if you don't believe me, take somebody out there to find him, because that's right where I left him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm back, Mid-South, and I'm back to stay. Here's a souvenir, Dr. Death.
well, apparently this match is not going to transpire, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of confusion here. Let's go back to Cowboy Bill Watts and Boy Pierce.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, something stinks in Denmark. I don't know what it is, but Ted DiBiase is too slick, too sure. Jim Duggan's not here. He does have an SMU pony helmet, but I've never heard of Duggan not showing up to a challenge. And I've never heard of anybody knocking Hacksaw Duggan out with one punch. He's been in a lot of barroom brawls. We'll just have to see what we can find out about the situation.
All right, and we'll return right after this important message.
Man, what a back alley jumper that Jim Duggan turned out to be. You know, Ted DiBiase just minding his own business, coming to the arena for his big return after being away for over a year. Because it was around Labor Day of last year when he lost his Loser Leaves Town match. And Duggan just attacking DiBiase from behind. But, you know, DiBiase being a superior athlete and wrestler, he was able to dip, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge around Jim Duggan and knock him the fuck out with one punch.
I don't believe that is what happened.
Yeah. Now, he left Duggan in the gutter like a drunken bum. Now, I think, you know, Ernie Ladd should probably have to wrestle Jim Duggan next if Duggan's a bum.
What does he look like, a bomb seeker?
I mean, I would never accuse Ernie Ladd of being a bum seeker, but he tends to wrestle a lot of bums.
He doesn't seek them, though.
That's true.
Perhaps he is the bum seeky.
What do you think I am? A bum seeker?
I would never accuse Mr. Ladd of being a bum seeker. Although maybe he is a bum seeker in the sense that he's a seeker of women with nice bums.
Who isn't?
I'm really stretching to get that out, aren't I? So I did think it was funny that no one seemed to be worried that Duggan is apparently face down in a gutter in the alley. But we did find out after commercial that someone did go get Duggan out of the alley. So that's nice.
Good for them.
DiBiase was in a very nice suit.
Yeah.
It was to make up for the fact that he didn't have his beard yet. I know he was here in Mid-South for a couple of years without the beard. It's just still weird seeing Ted DiBiase without a beard. You know?
Yeah.
So after commercial, we're informed that Jim Cornette has a special challenge for the Rock and Roll Express. Let's go now to Jim Cornette, who's got something to say.
I think it's time to expose the fact that Mid-South Wrestling protects its champions just like it always has, because last week I made a statement here on television that we would end the career of one of the Rock and Roll Express, but that scared them so bad that now we can't get a match with them, and Mid-South Wrestling is protecting them. So I had my mother send down a blank check, $25,000 made out to nobody. All you have to do to fill in the line, Rock and Roll Express, is sign for a match against the Midnight Express for the titles. Name your stipulations. Call your own match. I don't care what it is. But we want you in the ring for the titles one way or the other. Like I said, you can name your own rules. That's how certain that we are that we can take your measure, because I'm sick and tired of everybody saying the Rock and Roll Express is number one. We're going to prove our point, prove that we're the best, and take those Mid-South belts. Mid-South Wrestling, if you're not scared, let them do it. And Rock and Roll Express, if you're not scared, then sign on the dotted line for $25 grand.
Okay, so Jim Cornette is accusing Mid-South of protecting its champions, but last week he literally threatened to end one of their careers. If I'm the Rock and Roll Express, even though I'm a fighting champion, I'm like, I don't want to potentially lose my career because, of Jim Cornette.
You're afraid of Jim Cornette, that little weakling mama's boy?
Well, I'm not afraid of that sissy Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette would get his mama to get money and possibly bring in someone to permanently injure the Rock or Roll Express.
You have no fighting spirit.
Where the heck was that? Now, I feel like we've seen this before, where Jim Cornette is offering $25,000 for a tag team title match with the Rock and Roll Express. Or was it the Fantastics maybe instead? Like, I feel like we've seen this before on this show, that he's challenged the champions and had a $25,000 check to get a title match.
They're out of storylines. They're starting to recycle.
God damn it, Bill Dundee, you haven't even been here a year and you're already recycling storylines? Well, the good news is, according to Bill, the Rock and Roll Express have worked out a real humdinger that they'll tell us about later. And when we get to that, oh boy, it was a humdinger.
Boy, was it.
All right, so from here we go back to the ring for a match. It's Butch Reed versus Brickhouse Brown. Butch is apparently back from his knee surgery. It's physical evidence. Here he is. We are informed that the next Superdome show is going to be on Thanksgiving night, and tickets are already on sale. Here's hoping they don't have to move it like they did last year for that college football game. Bill starts talking about how they get letters from fans all the time talking about how they watch this show and they watch Titan Sports and how Mid-South is so much better. Now, I'm sure Bill is a fair man, and that if people were writing him letters telling him that Titan Sports' product was better, that he would admit that on TV, right?
Yeah. Mr. The Law doesn't let us abrogate civil liberties enough is going to be very, very good with dealing with contradictory information.
Yes. Here's the thing, though. And I don't know. Maybe I'd have to really go back to, be in that time frame to know. Did people know what Titan Sports was? Like, he's just saying Titan Sports like it's, the recognized name for the company out of New York, when, I don't know, I got a feeling like most fans would not know who Titan Sports was.
Would they? Like, what was it called in the Observer? What was it called in the Aftermags? Like, was that a common terminology in '84?
In the Observer, I'm sure it was listed as Titan Sports because he listed as Titan forever. But I don't think the Aftermags would have called it Titan.
I don't know.
I could be wrong. I'd have to.
I figure at least some smart fans would know, and if they're not smart fans, what does it matter?
Okay. So Wayne Ferris, who was once a jobber on this show, must have been watching because Butch did a shake, rattle, and roll to Brickhouse Brown. Brown used a couple of drop kicks and yelled at Butch to get up, and when he didn't, Brown made the cover and got a 2 count. Maybe if he would have made the cover instead of yelling at Butch to get up, he could have won the match. So then Brickhouse Brown came off the top rope with a missed missile drop kick. I assume referee Ronnie West missed this because he didn't call for the disqualification. And then Reed won with a leg drop. Now, even though Trae watched the show at least 3 hours before I did, I am sure I could still hear him screaming from Houston about them ignoring the top rope disqualification rule.
I didn't have it in me to care about this.
You know, maybe people wouldn't have complained so much about WCW's top rope rule if they ignored it all the time like they do here in 84 Mid-South.
Remember Lanny Poffo did the moonsault for like 2 weeks and then never again?
Yeah, somebody finally told him, Lanny, that's against the rules here. And now as punishment, you have to lose every other match you ever have in this territory.
And Mr. Wrestling 2 is going to talk shit about your family.
Let's take a look at Poffo here. Oh, that was great. That was great. Reed won with the leg drop, and I gotta say, it definitely feels like we're thumbing our nose at Titan Sports, we're thumbing our nose at Hogan, that we're seeing leg drops galore on this show.
Yeah, we are. I don't know.
Now, during this match, or actually towards the end of this match, we did have some breaking news. Jim Duggan has stumbled into the Irish McNeil Boys Club, and can you hear me?
Yeah.
What the hell? Trae, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Did you hear me before when I was talking?
Yeah.
I don't know. For some fucking reason, while I was talking, the audio thing on the bottom of my screen suddenly went down to 0.
Huh.
You gotta love technology sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jim Duggan has stumbled into the Irish McNeil Boys Club. Makes you wonder what the hell happened to him when he got picked up out of the gutter outside of the arena a minute ago. But oh well. And we're going to hear from him after the commercial break. But before we do that, we've got to listen to Trae's thoughts on Butch Reed versus Brickhouse Brown.
It was okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now let's go to Bill Watts, who is with a fan in the front row who's covered in blood and is wearing a ripped shirt. Let's go to Bill Watts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we generally don't want to make an interview like this, but Duggan, they're trying to get him to go to the hospital, but he's insisted he has something he wants to say, and then they're going to take him straight to the hospital. You look like you've been hit by a Mack truck.
I don't know. I bent over, get my bag out of the trunk. I don't know who it was, 3 or 4 guys grabbed a hold of me. I'm doing okay. I'm holding my own. Then boom, I get it from behind a slapjack or something. The only guy, they hold on to me. I look up, and the son of a... only face I can make out of the group is Ted DiBiase. They held me, and DiBiase took it to me with a slapjack. But I made it here. He said I couldn't make it here. He left me laying in the mud. But I told you people, I told you I'd come back. I'd come here and I'd stand up for Dr. Death. I'd stand up for what he did to them other people. But DiBiase did his best to stop me. But it didn't work. I'm here, and but I'll go on.
I think that's enough. Let's go back to Boyd. Let's get him out of here. I've never seen courage like this. I know what he's talking about. You know, he's got the guts. He wants to be here. He wants to take it to him. Let's go back to Boyd Pierce.
So Duggan pays for a front row ticket, shows up bloodied and beaten and knocked down, and then he gets dragged away to go to the hospital. Do you think they refunded his payment for that ticket?
I think he probably just borrowed a ticket for a minute.
Maybe he got that ticket that, you know, WWE has all the time, where you get a musical entrance and you get to cut a promo in the ring, you know, and then possibly even challenge somebody to a match. Those tickets must be expensive, though, because you rarely see people like you or I. You or I can never afford tickets of that caliber.
I can't even afford tickets to the regular shit.
I mean, hey, at WrestleMania, John Cena had front row tickets, and he jumped the barricade and ran to the back halfway through the show. You know, I wish I had John Cena ticket money.
Yeah, if only you get to wrestle the Undertaker.
I'd do a 3-minute job to the Undertaker.
Do you think you could? Do you think you could handle 3 minutes?
Well, I mean, Rosie and Jamal are both dead, so I mean.
Oh, rip.
Yes, I went there. So yes, he said 3 or 4 guys have attacked him, but he only recognized one of them, Ted DiBiase, and DiBiase hit him with a slapjack, and Duggan was busted wide the fuck open.
Now I wonder, like, were the other guys like also wrestlers, or were they some local toughs that DiBiase hired? I've heard that DiBiase has a lot of money, so he can probably hire some pretty tough street fellows.
Quite possibly. Now I want to know, when did this happen? Was Duggan late to the show or something? Because if not, and this happened right outside the building, wouldn't fans have noticed Jim Duggan laying unconscious in the mud, bleeding, on their way into the Irish Riverdale Boys Club?
No, I think it happened right before DiBiase came out, so they were already in the building.
Or is it possible that they all just expect that of Jim Duggan, that he just be laying in the mud sleeping, that they're like, oh, this is nothing new?
What are you implying about Jim Duggan's personal habits?
We've already talked on this show about, well, it's been a gimmick on Mid-South about his hygiene not being very good. Like, literally, weren't they talking about giving him a shower last year, and they had to talk about how this is personal choice and all that shit?
Okay, so his hygiene isn't good because he sleeps in the mud? Why does he sleep in the mud?
I don't know. Maybe that's what he finds comfortable. Anyway, well, we debate this for years to come, I'm sure, because Duggan is a part of Mid-South until like late '86, early '87. We go to our next match, which is the North American champion Magnum TA versus Big Ernie Ladd. Now, here's what I thought was funny, and I guess I never really thought about this or looked it up. Watts points out that Ladd is a year older than he is.
Yeah, he did say that.
I'm like, I guess it makes sense, but like, again, like, I would not even have thought about that. Because I mean, Ladd was playing professional football in the '60s, so I mean, it makes sense. So TA at one point stole Brickhouse Brown's move and used a drop kick. I hope Brickhouse does a belly-to-belly suplex next week. And reminded me of, like, remember when Kidman threw a temper tantrum because Brock Lesnar did a shooting star press, and then the Hurricane did a temper tantrum because Chris Jericho did the code breaker?
Why did the Hurricane? When did the Hurricane ever do a code breaker?
He did it in like '07, like, obviously months before Jericho returned. And this was like right around the time that he had his neck surgery. The one time every 6 months Hurricane got to win a match, it was with the Codebreaker. Well, the move that became the Codebreaker.
I have no memory of that. You know where Jericho got that move?
He was watching Gregory Helms tapes and like, hey, this guy never wins. I'm going to steal his move.
He was watching like some Ring of Honor tapes that somebody sent him, and he saw Naomichi Marufuji do it.
Okay. It's better than my other idea that he saw Carlito do the backstabber, and he was like, I could do that better, and came up with the Codebreaker.
I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I think that Naomichi Marufuji is better than Carlito.
Holy shit! Yeah. That is a bold statement. Bold.
That's why people listen to the show. My hot takes.
Not italicized, not underlined, but bold.
Mm-hmm.
So Ladd missed the double leg drop, which is twice as powerful as the one that Reed did. TA missed a middle rope missile drop kick. Actually, TA didn't miss it. He hit a middle rope middle drop kick, which caused Ladd to fall to Carl Fergie. Now, I should point out that Fergie was the referee. He didn't just like happen to stumble into the ring at some point and have Ernie Ladd fall on top of him. Fergie did get up and Ladd shoved TA into him. And during that confusion, Ladd pulled a rope out of his tights to garrote Magnum TA with. Ladd picked TA up and fell backwards for a 2 count as the second referee got in, which I thought was a cute little spot. And then Ladd hit 2 leg drops to win the cummerbund. The king is dead. Long live the new king. Big Ernie Ladd is your new North American heavyweight champion. And you've never seen somebody on this show be so happy to win a championship.
So when they go, the bumper will have like a still image from the last segment, and the image for this one was the big cat with that big belt and a big old smile on his face. It was awesome. Like you need to put that for the episode image.
There we go. That sounds like a good idea. Well, we're going to go from a very good idea to a not very good idea. The Rock and Roll Express have gone to the ring for a promo. And what drove me crazy was that when the promo began, they started playing the Rock and Roll Express theme song.
Yes. Yes, they did.
I had to wait that out. Mind you, missed nothing. But we're going to pick up JR mid-sentence when they finally cut the damn audio out.
If you gentlemen would sign a match to defend the Mid-South Tag Team Championship against this Midnight Express, and Rick and Robert, you heard it. He said he would do it in any stipulation that you all could come up with. I know you all have come up with an idea.
That's right, Jim Ross. You know, every time we wrestle the Midnight Express, Jimmy Cornette's always been the difference. In the cage match, Jimmy Cornette's the one that cost us lose a match. It wasn't the Midnight Express. So we accepted Jimmy Cornette's challenge, but we got a little stipulation for him. It was hard to get this right here, and I want to demonstrate it to all the people right here. Right here is a straight jacket. And I feel and I believe if Jimmy Cornette's in this straight jacket right here, there's no way he can bring Ether to the ring, he can bring his chains, but brother, there's no way he can get it out. Here you go, Robert, demonstrate it right here.
So this will be the neutralizer. This is what will neutralize Jim Cornette. I have seen these never this close. This is a straight jacket.
Put this right here. Put this right here on him. Like this. Get it strapped up here good and tight. And that way right there, there's no way that when he sits at ringside that he can pull anything out. He can get it all the way out here. Right here. Pull it right here, pull the arm up under. Here. Back through here. Let me get this over here good and tight.
So if Mr. Cornette wears this, he will be completely neutralized and unable to interfere in any kind of match.
That's right. And that is for $25,000. See this right here, come this one off this right here.
Well, I would certainly say that if Mr. Cornette wears this straitjacket, he will be helpless.
See, there's no way he can get out of here. Look this way. He can reach down, he can pull anything out he can, but there's no way. And they can demonstrate this right off the bat here.
I'd say it's a foolproof way.
Okay. So this was fucking great. And I don't know why I didn't pick up on it like the second, because I saw the giant thing of cloth in Ricky Morton's hand. But like the second he said, I've got a straitjacket, I'm like, I know what's about to happen. And I'm pretty sure those annoying kids in the crowd screaming, Ricky! Ricky! They knew what was going to happen too. Trae, I bet you knew what was going to happen.
See, the Rock and Roll or the Midnight Express weren't even planning to attack the Rock and Roll Express. They just saw them do something so fucking stupid that they felt obliged.
Yeah. I mean, it makes total sense. If your hated rivals are going to be dumb enough to put one of them in a fucking straitjacket, you know what? Let's go, Jimmy. We got two guys' asses kicked to kick. And sure enough. And hey, it sells the gimmick because Robert Gibson, a trained professional wrestler who's a fairly strong man, could not get out of that straitjacket to help his partner or to defend himself. So a little sissy like Jim Cornette certainly isn't going to be able to.
This was a good angle.
I agree. And yeah, I think it's a nice little twist here. I was expecting Loser Leaves Town, but I guess that's still to come because they're going to be in World Class soon. Actually, didn't we look? I think they're already in World Class. They're just not on TV yet.
I think the straitjacket match was on the Legends of World Class Blu-ray, wasn't it?
I think this angle was. I don't remember if the match was. I might have to go pull out my Blu-ray, which is about 25 feet away from me right now.
My Blu-ray is closer, but my Blu-ray player is further.
Well, you don't need to pull out the Blu-ray player to look at the match listing on the Blu-ray case.
Suppose you're right. Maybe. They used to be better about that, and they got
lazy.
Less so with it as they went on. Okay, hold on. Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express. I have to take the disc out to read the thing because it's in the thing.
Or just like fold it inwards and you can kind of pull it out of the plastic.
It has both. It has this and the match.
Ah, okay. Great. When is the match? Is it going to be on the television program?
I feel like it's a TV match.
Okay.
It just it doesn't have a date. It just says Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express, Jim Cornette in a straitjacket.
Okay. Well, we'll have to either plop in that disc or patiently wait for it to show up on our television screens here. So up next was our main event. It is Ted DiBiase with General Skandor Akbar versus the Pride of Monte County, Texas, Johnny Mantell. And after last week where Johnny Mantell put on a banger and made me want to see Johnny Mantell wrestle more and win matches, this week he's reverted back to jobber status. And in the interest of fairness, like they've got a deep talent roster at this point. So like, yes, Johnny Mantell, no matter how good he is, really isn't at that point yet to be getting a push on the show.
And he was still he's still busting ass doing a job for Ted DiBiase. Like they only went like 92 seconds here, but they were working for 92 seconds.
Yep. And in that 92 seconds, we found out that next week, Ted DiBiase is going to take on Master G. Bill Dundee is going to challenge Adrian Street for the TV title, and Magnum TA is going to take on Max. And I got to say, after having a TV champion for 6 months never defend the fucking belt, it's good to have a fighting champion here on TV.
Well, Adrian Street is not a little bitch or a stooge. I'm not going to say he's not a D-gen, though, because he definitely is.
You think Adrian Street's a D-gens?
But yeah.
Okay, there's some harsh words to say about exotic Adrian Street.
I
would not say that
he lives
to
up
his
to
face.
them. I'd say it to your face.
Well, I'm not Adrian Street.
You're a D-gen, too.
All right, well, Ted DiBiase won with the figure 4 simply because Bob Roop and Paul Orndorff are no longer in the territory to teach Johnny Mantell what the counter is. And in fact, it's been so long since we've seen the counter to the figure 4 that Bill Watts erroneously told us that there is no counter to the figure 4.
Watts doesn't remember a lot of things very well.
No, he does not. Although I did think it was funny because like those first few episodes of Mid-South that are on the Cock that we talked about way back when, they build up that Bob Roop and Paul Orndorff have discovered the counter to the figure 4. And Trae, do you know what the counter to the figure 4 is?
Fucking turning it over?
Yes.
So stupid.
It's the same counter we've seen for the last 40 years.
It's so stupid. Of all the things in wrestling that are stupid, like that's the stupidest. That's the big one. Like that's the one nobody can defend.
Oh Lord. Well, before we went off the air, Ted DiBiase has a quick word to say about his opponent next week.
You saw right here today what I did to Mantell. You saw what I did to Duggan. There's another guy with a wrestling right here next week on TV. This Master G. Let me tell you something. He's supposed to have this master hold. I am the master of the figure 4 leg lock. I am the master of Mid-South, and I'm back to prove it. Next week, Mr. G, you're going to find out who your master is.
Okay, that was a great line. Mr. G, you're going to find out who your master is.
That was terrific.
Yeah. I didn't notice this the first time, but I was looking for it this time. The guy in the white striped shirt handing a microphone in to Ted DiBiase because he was just yelling into Boyd's mic, and so someone handed him a real mic.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a great line, Mr. G. You'll find out who your master is. But yeah, so Ted DiBiase versus Master G next week. Are you excited?
I sure am.
I'll be honest, going into this show, when they said that Ted DiBiase would be here, I thought it might be like it was the last time Ted DiBiase would be here. It would be a tape of a match from Oklahoma City or something.
No, it's the real deal.
Not R.D. Reynolds, but the real deal, Ted DiBiase.
Indeed.
Are we going to start calling him RDTD?
Isn't that the little trash can guy from Star Wars?
I don't know. Did you buy an RDDT off eBay?
I find this line of questioning upsetting.
Mm-hmm. Something tells me that Trae has a trash can sitting in his office that used to be an R2D2.
I certainly have a trash can sitting in my office.
Well, speaking of trash cans, let's go to World Class Championship Wrestling. We'll be done this review in 5 minutes, people. I was literally falling asleep during this thing, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to get through this fucking thing, am I? 46 minutes will never go so slowly. But let's go to the intro with Bill Mercer.
Welcome to World Class Championship Wrestling. From the most famous wrestling arena in the world, the Sportatorium, here in Dallas, Texas. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Mercer. Great to have you along. And what a tremendous, tremendous main event we have. That outstanding brother duo, Kevin and Mike Von Erich, against the awesome pair, Gino Hernandez and Jake the Snake Roberts. And another tremendous bout, Iceman King Parsons against Killer Khan, and many more of the greatest of world-class championship wrestling. Plus, we've got a classic, a moment to remember, when Kerry Von Erich defeated Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to show you that bout next on World Class Championship Wrestling.
A tremendous, tremendous main event as Mercer is shaking his head in excitement.
Indeed.
Kevin and Mike, that outstanding brother combo against Gino Hernandez and Jake the Snake Roberts.
What a team that is.
Yes. We're certainly going to see a tag team match coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus, we're going to get an encore match, which just means we get to fast forward the first 12 minutes of the show. Now, I'm assuming you did not rewatch this match, did you?
This match that I've seen many times. No, I did not watch it again today.
Okay, good. So they did like a feature for our three-man heel team, our new three-man heel team of Gino Hernandez, Jake Roberts, and Chris Adams. First, they showed a snippet of all three doing a recent promo separately. It was the Jake Roberts Junkyard promo, the Chris Adams Office promo, and the Gino standing in front of a Learjet promo. And they, cut up bits of that and then showed a random music video of the three heels. And I don't care. I wanted to see the random music video, what song they really used for this.
I also really terribly wish I knew what song they dubbed over here.
So you wanted to know the dubbed song. I wanted to know the real song.
No, I wanted to know the real song.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you there.
Why the fuck would I want to know the dub song? It's a fucking dub song.
I don't know. You could have a thing for dubbed music from the WWE music library.
I don't.
So when you see New Jack wrestling on the WWE Network, you don't want to sing "It's a Hardcore Thing"?
I have better versions of all those, so I don't do that to myself. But for some reason, nobody has done it with World Class.
Nope. I think anytime they try to, they fall asleep. So.
Was the World Class stuff just not in like heavy circulation before the WWE Network put it up? Because that's the only World Class that you see pretty much is the WWE Network stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of the Fort Worth shows out there, but that's about it. By the way, CM Punk and Jey Uso will team up tonight to take on The Vision.
The Vision?
Yes. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Oh, so not the Marvel Comics character, The Vision.
Probably not, no.
That would have been better.
Indeed. And apparently, to determine the pairings of the Last Time Is Now tournament, to determine who John Cena's last opponent will be, they have pulled out the Royal Rumble tumbler to randomly draw people for this tournament.
Well, all right then.
I do think it's a little suspect, though, because that only looks to be about 15 or 16 balls in there. So I don't know about that 17th person who might think that they're in there.
Well, which one is going to be the 17th person?
I don't know. By the way, someone needs to tell Roxanne Perez that it might not be a smart idea to do a code red right onto her ass. Because, she's taking that move right on her ass. And, I mean, it's a very cute ass, I must tell you that. But, I mean, still, that cannot feel good for, the shockwaves going up her spine.
I would suspect not.
Yeah. Of course, Nikki Bella also sucks, so what can you do there? So from here, we got our first match on the show. Wild Bill Irwin, who wants to beat up an Indian like the old-time cowboys did, versus Chief Jules Strongbow. And they told us here during this match that our next World Class Championship Wrestling program will be broadcast from the Cotton Bowl. I gotta
Hooray.
say, that's a big building to book for a TV taping, don't you think?
Well, this been a hot territory for a long time, so it's time to take a step up.
There you go, I guess. And hey, maybe we'll now get TV every week from big football stadiums.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yes. I bet they could draw easily every week in a big football stadium. Isn't all wrestling booked similarly to TEW, where if you play long enough, you'll be able to fill 100,000 seat stadiums multiple times a month?
Well, yeah, that's why it's a simulator. You can't just call something a simulator. It's got to actually simulate your real life.
Yeah. So we are told that Flair is on his way in to defend the world title, but does not want to wrestle Kerry Von Erich. I guess he's had enough of wrestling, the dregs of society. Jules put on the Indian Deathlock, and Irwin's response was to say,
This wasn't terrible. Like Jules Strongbow has not been terrible the last couple of times we've seen him. I am a fair observer.
It was not terrible. They went to a 10-minute time limit draw, and I'm convinced that the earth stood still when Mark Lawrence announced there were 15 seconds left. Because he announced there was 15 seconds left, and it felt like they started the match over and redid a whole 10-minute draw before the bell rang to indicate a 10-minute draw.
I don't pay attention to their time calls. It was 8 minutes and 57 seconds, so pretty close.
Hey, as I say, yeah, that is close for them. I kind of expect you to tell me it was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, so it's time for our new weekly segment on World Class, the one promo that we get. Let's go to drunk Mark Lawrence in the locker room with some very important points of interest that need to be discussed.
Locker room now, it's time to talk about several points of interest. First with Iceman King Parsons. Ice, the Chris Adams situation.
I'll tell you what the situation is, brother. Chris Adams then went goofy. You let your friends down, sucker. You let the people down. But most of all, we was tight, man. We was like a clan, you understand what I'm saying? You broke it, Chris. I'll tell you what your problem is. Everybody knew. I just played along with it. I didn't know what was happening. But when you teamed up with that lowlife, that Gary Hart, who wear men clothes and walk like he's kind of, you know where I'm coming from. I tell you what you need, sucker. You need these bones, these soup bones. And that's what you're going to get if Kevin Von Erich don't beat me to it. And that's the gospel.
All right, Ice, tough circumstances for your friend Rock and Roll Zumhall.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about old Buck because he's a close friend. Brother, he's down and out right now. Them so-called PYTs, pretty young things. Well, we know Mother Nature didn't leave you no justice because you ain't gaining no ground. The suckers hit my partner over the head with the radio. Then they went on and tore his radio up. Well, Buck, anytime you need the Iceman, I don't mind stepping forward because I love to deal with them low lives. PYT, get ready. Have mercy.
All right, thank you, Iceman. Kevin Von Erich with us now. Kevin, your feelings toward the Adams situation?
I'm tired of thinking about it. Everybody's asking me, hey, Kev, what happened to Chris? What's the matter with him? Is it money? Is it Gary Hart? It's probably a little of both. I'm tired of thinking about it. Chris Adams is, he wants to be the world champion. Of course, we all do. He wants to be more famous. I guess, that's in some people's book, that's a big deal. But I don't really care. Because the bottom line with Chris Adams is what he did to me left me laying there. For those two, now Gino Hernandez and Jake the Snake, To leave me in the position after taking a super kick with those two kind of guys and then walking away, what kind of guy would do that? What kind of guy, is jealousy a motive for something like that? No way. Man, he's got some screw loose upstairs. All he needs is a good bash in the face.
All right, Kevin, let me ask you this. Are you and Kerry now supportive of Stella May after all of this?
Well, you know, I never was really on fire for women coming into the ring, and I never did really like the idea of them getting involved, but I'm not going to stand by and let somebody slap her in the face while I'm standing there. You know, Chris and Gary that night, they were both wanting to hit her and slap her around. I said, hey, you know, in a nice way. I'm a nice guy. I said, hey, you know, there's no need for that. And on and on and on. Finally, you know, Gary Hart, I never trusted him. I never liked him to begin with. And I had to, like Iceman says, I had to give him one of these soup bones. And then Chris Adams, well, you know, the rest is history. You know, Stella May, she came in the ring. I'll just say this right out front, up straight, everybody knows the Von Erichs are supporting her. And I can't wait until Stella May takes on that female giant and just smashes her flat like she's got it coming. You know, you see these two rolling around on the mat and tear each other's hair out and all. It always seems to me like Stella May is whipping her. That's what I want to see.
All right, Kevin, quickly, let me ask you this. It looks like Ric Flair's bringing the world belt back in soon.
I can't believe it. I thought he was afraid to put Kerry up against it again, but if that comes to be, Kerry's going to be the new world champion just like he was before, because Kerry is the greatest wrestler in the world, and Ric Flair knows it.
All right, you heard it from Kevin Von Erich here in the locker room. I'm Mark Lorenz.
So, apparently, Chris Adams needs a punch in the face. That's what I got out of this promo.
Yeah, that's about what it was worth.
Yeah. Now, Kevin Von Erich has informed us that he is a nice guy. So does that mean that if Stella May French does not give him one sex, that means that she's now an ugly bitch?
Oh,
I'm not sure by Pop Tray or if he's just.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either.
But yeah, there's this whole thing online that.
I know what I know.
Okay.
I got the joke.
Okay, just making sure. You know.
Okay.
All right. So, Kevin Von Erich, nice guy, or is he a nice guy? We'll have to find out if he hits on Stella May French. With all due respect to Stella May French, I would like to think that Kevin Von Erich, during his heyday, could get a better woman than Stella May French.
I think that there was a lot of talent underneath those risers at the Sportatorium. Did the Sportatorium have risers? I don't know.
Well, it's bleachers at least.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what risers are, I guess.
Yeah. Killer Khan with General Skandor Akbar versus the Iceman, King Parsons. After what felt like forever, Khan was DQ'd for, and I quote, an illegal chop. I think I meant to write illegal chop.
Illegal chop. That's fantastic. That's better than this finish was.
Yes, he chopped Iceman near the throat, and apparently he'd been warned about this several times, and so he got disqualified.
Very, very. I thought wrestling was supposed to be catch as catch can. Since when can you not chop somebody in the throat?
I thought that was a regular part of catch as catch can wrestling.
Well, yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah. Now, I always think like the phrase catch as catch can was always a weird phrase too.
I know.
Catches to wrestle. So. Mm-hmm.
I love the phrase. It's I'm gonna do something with it someday. I feel like there's an essay in just that term, catch as catch can.
Why would we pay you to write your friends?
I understood that reference.
I gotta say that was one of the smarter jokes I've ever seen on a TV show.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about this fantastic match with Khan and Parsons?
No, it was a lot of it was Iceman selling, so it was boring.
All right, so we got our main event, which is American and Texas champion Gino Hernandez with Andrea the Lady Giant and Jake Roberts versus high-flying Kevin Von Erich and his partner at 222 pounds, his brother Mike Von Erich holding a 50-pound weight.
They finally got a second belt. We got Gino 2 belts.
Plus, these were new belts too, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. That World Class is shelling out the big bucks here. They got 2 belts.
I was gonna recommend Gino 2 belts for the episode title, for lack of anything better.
Well, I was gonna go with Arya's almost birthday.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good enough. You got it.
I get to put myself over once in a while.
Yeah, you can. You can.
So Stella Mae French showed up to try to attack Andrea the Lady Giant, and David Manning held her back. Now, did you see the problem here with this? Not just the fact that David Manning was holding this crazy woman back who no one could hold back, but I thought there was a bigger problem with this.
Was it that Bill Mercer called David Manning David Von Erich?
I noticed that, but no. Freudian slip. That was whatchamacallit. At the beginning of the show, we were informed our referees are Rick Hazard, David Manning, and Bronco Lubick. And David Manning is here wearing his street garb. He's not wearing his referee gear. So what the fuck, dude? Why aren't you dressed to work here at work?
Because he was one of the referees for the taping, and but he wasn't on this half of the taping, so like he refereed earlier and put his regular clothes on because he was done refereeing.
I just want to hate on David Manning Von Erich once in a while.
Okay, well, don't let me stop you.
So this was a match. Kevin went for a big splash, but Gino got his feet up. So Kevin splashed Gino's feet, but came back seconds later with a crossbody for the win. Yeah, I did not miss much there. After the match, we got a 2-on-1 on Kevin, but Mike, who had been thrown out of the ring, picked himself up and got in to help out. After the match, Kevin wanted a rematch for the belts with $5,000 on the line. Gino came to the ring and teased getting in, and we didn't even pretend that he might get in the ring because we just immediately went to commercial, and then the show just ended.
Yeah, I've never seen that so casually. Just
yes, it's like we don't believe you're gonna get in the ring, Gino. So we're just gonna go to the commercial.
Yep.
Any thoughts on this main event?
I don't know. Kevin did a Hurricane Rana. Mike did his best.
Are we sure this is Mike's best?
I think so.
Maybe
I think
Mike
this
is
is
over on the Fort Worth show.
Well, we'll never see any evidence of that, will we?
No, we won't. No, we won't. So, of all the world-class episodes we've ever seen, this was the most recent one.
It sure was.
Yep. Did you see the news about the fixed UFC fight?
No.
So apparently there was a fight on Saturday between, and if I mispronounce these names, I'm sorry, I don't watch UFC. Isaac Dulgarian and Yadir Delval. And apparently Dulgarian, this should have been like a huge mismatch and Dulgarian was going to win. But then all of a sudden on the day of the fight, all this money came in on Yadir to not only to win, but to win by submission in the first round. And it got to the point where UFC officials confronted him about this, and he had no idea what the hell was going on. And then he lost by submission in the first round. And yeah, so the UFC has fired Isaac Bulgarian, and you know, I mean, it's the right thing to do. If this was a worked fight, it's the third worked fight in UFC history, and no, the first two were not CM Punk fights. Those were just, a situation where the guy shouldn't have been fighting. But no, back in the heyday of the UFC, the early days, there were two fixed fights. And both, conveniently enough, led to Tank Abbott losing the finals of a tournament.
Huh.
Yes, because he would Tank would win the first and second round, and then the other guy's second round opponent would throw the fight to leave him well rested to beat Tank Abbott in the finals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you can't beat Tank Abbott if you're not well rested.
Yes. I think like 20 guys, only 20 guys have ever beaten Tank Abbott. So, you need your rest.
You got to get up pretty early in the afternoon to beat Tank Abbott.
Did you see what the main event for the Tokyo Dome is? Or at least the title match is for the Tokyo Dome?
No.
Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to wait?
It must be important if you brought it up.
I mean, it's newsworthy because they're going to announce the rest of the card tonight at midnight, apparently. But it is not, as AEW viewers might think, it's not that match. Instead, it's going to be Yota Tsuji challenging for the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Versus Konosuke Takeshita.
That should be fair. That should be excellent.
It should be. And apparently, Gayda has a big surprise planned for Hiroshi Tanahashi in his final match. And this is leading to a lot of conjecture that it's going to be Okada. I mean, that would kind of make sense if it was.
Okay.
I was just happy it wasn't Evil. I guess Evil's taking on that guy who's in his first match ever.
Aaron Wolf?
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
I don't know why, but when I saw the Observer site saying Wrestle Kingdom 20 main event set, I was just like, please don't be Evil. Please don't be Evil. Please don't be Evil. It was not Evil.
Good for Aaron Wolf. You get to get your worst match out of the way first.
I've got good news and bad news for you, Aaron Wolf. The good news is you're going to be in the Wrestle Kingdom 20 main event against Evil. And the bad news is you're going to be in the Wrestle Kingdom 20 main event against Evil.
Well, at least it's not the main event.
No, I imagine it'll be the main event of the pre-show. Although I could be wrong about that too. Handsome Rusev was on Lana's podcast today. It was a big get for Lana, to get her husband as her guest. Apparently, Vince McMahon was not happy that Rusev lost weight in 2019. So you remember he lost like 40 or 50 pounds, and Vince threw a tantrum because he wanted Rusev to be 300 pounds and be a monster and yada yada yada. And Rusev went and lost weight. How dare he?
How dare he?
Yes. Also, Shotzi Blackheart is going to take on Priscilla Kelly at the Major League Wrestling and Don Gato Tequila show coming up on the 20th in Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yep. Get your tickets now. Good tickets are still available. Also on that show, Mystico versus Volador Jr. in the 2025 Opera Cup Finals. And
that should be a Lulu.
Yep. Matt Riddle versus Killer Cross. The Skyscrapers, who are not Sid Vicious and Danny Spivey, versus the Good Brothers. By the way, the skyscrapers are Donovan Dijak and Bishop Dyer.
Actually sounds like kind of a cool team.
I bet. Corbin, and I'm not just saying this, Corbin was better than he got credit for. I always thought he was one of the.
I thought he was the shits for like the longest time, but then like I don't know. I've only seen him a couple times. There was that when I tried to watch NXT for like a month, he had his little team with Braun Breaker, and that was good. And then I saw he had like an NWA title match with Bram on one of the Scott D'Amore shows, and it was also very good.
That's good. I remember like when he was in his original run in NXT, like I remember thinking like of all the people that WWE trained from scratch, that he was one of the better ones. I mean, that really tells you where it is, like when you put him on the main roster with people who were not trained from scratch at the WWE Performance Center. But still, I thought he had something. But whatever happened, and he didn't. All right, so we've gone about 90 minutes. That seems to be good enough for this show. Anything else you want to say to the listener before we get going?
Well, no, we should end now because if we get one more minute, we'll go 1 minute for every second of that Ted DiBiase Johnny Mantell match.
Well, we'll throw in some late audio somewhere. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.